I don't say shout out to Charleston White for much, but shout out to Charleston White for calling CPS on these rappers who are exploiting this child.
So we just talked about influence and, talked about us and our younger selves. So my man Charleston White in the news. Yeah. No. So did you guys see the back and forth between his Finesse 2 Times? He has an artist that goes by the name of Lil King. This kid is 10 years old. He's online telling Charleston White that we pulling up, you gonna get scraped, we gonna script you down, we gonna bury you 50 feet under the ground on my mammy. He's 10 years old, saying all this stuff, arguing back and forth with Charleston White.
These youngsters, because
that's ignorant.
Thank you.
Sorry, some of these youngsters, they have no guidance.
But here's
I'm afraid of young people. Like, I'm at that age where I'm just afraid of young people.
But here's the thing, though. Charleston White actually went online and called CPS on Finesse 2 Times.
Good job.
That's
where I'm old.
So this is my question. With this, I see rappers and I see other people on the internet calling Charleston White a snitch because he's basically talking about Finesse 2 Times bad influence on this little boy. This kid is 10 years old, man. I'm talking about wow. Well, how does that make hip hop look? The fact that there's people that really
we ain't gonna blame that on hip hop.
I'm talking about hip hop as it relates to the responses in the hip hop community. I ain't saying hip hop is the reason.
Those people are wrong. Those people are wrong. Because look, I don't agree with Charleston White. Says a lot of unnecessary things. Okay, but you gotta understand. A 10-year-old. You talking about going to pull up and do
this
violence,
kid is out. Wow.
And it under the influence of somebody who's an adult. I'm sorry, but somewhere along the way, we have to care more about our youth and not care so much. Sometimes we stand on just the wrong things. And if CPS gets involved with this kid and possibly saves his life, because you see what's happening. The victims of violence are getting younger and younger. The assailants are getting younger and younger. I'm sorry, but we cannot push this 10 years. Think about what you was doing when you was 10 years old.
I'm sure it was an adult that was recording.
I was listening to NWA.
Oh, well, this is maybe not the best advice.
Terry.
I turned out quite all right.
Okay,
but I'm focusing on.
Did you ever tell somebody you was gonna pull up on them and hit them with that stick?
Nah, because if I had did that,
what would have happened?
They could have possibly pulled
repercussions.
Up on you.
Yeah, would have happened.
And this kid's parents are they're not in his life. I think the mother is, I believe, on drugs or something like that. So he's kind of responsible for this young kid, taking him on tour.
The kid probably sold it to her.
The little boy be on stage. I'm talking about with stacks of bread. He got talking crazy. He's 10 years old.
That's so irresponsible.
And the responses are what are alarming to me, because people actually are mad that somebody's trying to get this kid.
They're mad at Charleston White.
They're mad at Charleston White. I agree. But the fact that you could even just be like, nah, man, that ain't cool. So do you care about the kid, or you just, to your point, just trying to be mad at Charleston White?
They're trying to be mad at Charleston White because everybody who has a little bit of common sense to say, why is he standing on stage with stacks of cash when he should be in bed by 9 o'clock and ready to go to school?
Have you seen any videos of this little kid?
I did. I saw the video of him saying that he was going to scrape him.
Yes.
Fool, that mind playing with me, fool. We catch that mind, fool. We gonna strip it. This on my grandma head.
And that he was going to scratch him. I did see that. And I saw the video of Charleston White calling CPS on them.
Yep.
I found all of this to be hilarious and entertaining.
I knew you was going to nothing in here is, you going to find a positive something for me in there, a little bit about the CPS, or is this just straight entertainment?
It's all entertainment.
It's all entertainment.
I really don't think that CPS probably even responded to it.
Probably not.
We don't know. You're right.
They should have.
Do you think they should have?
I mean, you had Lil Mouse back in the day from Chicago.
Yes, I remember Lil Mouse. He was really out there.
Yeah, he was out there. He's still out. He's still out here too.
Is he?
He's Big Mouse now.
It's crazy because, I mean, coming up in Chicago, talking crazy about people get you smoked.
Yeah,
quick.
Yeah. And that was one of his lines on his rap at 10 years old.
And then we smoking on Lil Mouse pack.
Yeah, but we're not smoking on Lil Mouse pack.
No, we're not.
Do we know where Lil Mouse is now?
He's still in Chicago, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I guess he got out.
Right, just graduated from high school about this time.
You gotta think, fam was literally about 9 or 10.
Yeah, he was little.
Yeah,
but I believe, once again, this you can call me being old, Who were the people who had the cameras on this 9 or 10-year-old kid talking about smoking people?
Finesse 2 times.
Yeah. And if you stand on that, then I'm sorry.
It was grown men.
It was cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it.
It's grown, but it was great.
Cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it.
You ain't supposed to have no kid out there like that.
That made me want to take all his videos off of the playlist.
But bro, it was grown. It was grown men chiming in on this little kid on live. Talking about what happened, man. What they say to gassing him up. I'm talking about just pouring gas on him.
Dangerous games.
That's very dangerous, bro. That's very dangerous, man. And I'm seeing this little boy talking about we gonna script Charleston White when we see him.
And you know what? You know what those old men are going when it goes down, because since they could go to jail for get involved in this, they're gonna be like, oh no, we didn't mean that.
Yeah,
and
it was all entertainment, right?
It's all entertainment.
And then when this kid wind up caught up in the system. Ain't nobody. They're not gonna put no money on his books. They're not gonna be there for his family. It was like, well, sometimes things happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because that's what happens in the game. People forget about you. They don't put no money inside.
Right.
They don't make sure that your mama's good. You just go to jail and they forget about you.
Everything ain't entertainment, bro. Sometimes you got to step in there and do what you got to do. Shorty.
That's why everybody snitches, because they know what the game is. They know nobody's going to look out.
Shorty headed for straight disaster with what I'm seeing. I'm talking about.
Probably too late.
You think it's too late? Might be too late. Might be.
Probably too late. I mean, there's something about when kids do grown people things that is so cute and funny to grown-ups until they mess around and find themselves wrapped up in the stuff that they wasn't supposed to be into in the first place.
Right.
And it falls back on the adults that they're around though. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like you want these kids to act grown but not be grown, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? It's weird. I don't understand it.
I think, man, like those videos of the little kids that be twerking on grown women. I mean, Boosie is a product of that. I remember Boosie was like 12 or 14. I was listening to him on no concentration camp albums. You know what I mean? Like, and Boosie is who he is now.
It's funny because Bow Wow is actually a product of all that stuff.
Yeah.
As much as people clown Bow Wow, he came up around some ignorant-ish.
Usher.
What do you...
Usher. His first single was "Can You Get With It?"
Yeah.
Actually, he was calling the Mac.
Well, but I'm saying that first one that
but
like,
Can You Get With It was clearly an overtly sexual song.
Yes.
And he was a minor.
Yes. This is what he's singing about this at like 12 years old.
You know Boosie said that he doesn't like that Tootie raps about the stuff he raps about. He said, but he grew up, he was around him all the time. He said, but he really don't like that he raps about the street life and all that, but because you grew up in a mansion.
Yeah,
he grew up in a mansion.
I mean, he might have been rich, but he wasn't the best influence on that kid. I mean, none of his kids.
I mean, you grew up
just because you got money.
Music.
I know people that grew up with money, but they were still out in the streets though, because that's how they got it.
Yeah.
So they parents was like big time drug dealers. Anytime you seen them, they had on brand new Jordans, brand new 𝐀𝐄𝐄 sweaters, all that stuff.
Right.
But the influence was already there. Minus the music. They didn't make music, but they were still out in the streets.
Right.
Which you gotta understand too, a lot of these artists are still in the streets. We just know who they are. These kids gotta go home to these dudes every day and be raised by them. Yeah. So I mean,
that's a good point.
I don't say shout out to Charleston White for much, but shout out to Charleston White for calling CPS on these rappers who are exploiting this child.
Yeah, because you can say Charleston White was right on that, but then did you see the video where he got on the overalls and the Confederate flag and
like I said, I don't say shout out to Charleston White on much because I think he's on BS.
My guy is actually cool with Charleston White, and he says that a lot of his stick is an act, and he's doing it all for essentially clout and internet fame, so to speak.
It worked,
but he does it all under the name of Charleston White. It's not like he creates characters.
That's his. That's his argument. But that's his argument, though. His argument is, I'm playing a character on the internet.
Yes,
y'all can't take anything that I say.
I am a character.
That's his argument.
Even though I'm doing it under my name.
That's his argument.
I mean, create some alter egos. You know, Prince and them created. You know, even Beyonce got Sasha Fierce when she wanted to twerk.
I mean, he got one. They call it Rat Williams, which I laughed at. I laughed at
because he definitely tell on people. He don't care. He'll tell you that I'm telling on people.
Yeah, he's very funny.
But he actually, people that don't know about him, he does do a lot of stuff in the community.
100%.
As far as helping kids and making sure they go down the right path.
I do.
This whole internet thing is just all
and people get in there.
Just something to do, something to try to build clout.
People get in their feelings too. People
he don't care though. That's the problem. He does not care.
I think he embraces the concept of somebody trying to get at him. Like it's like he wants to be a martyr. Like he really doesn't care. Nobody with common sense would do the things that he does if they cared a lot about how they move or were cautious. He don't care.
Well, you know, I also think that he's in the mindset is like, look, y'all didn't do nothing. Y'all ain't done nothing to 6ix9ine.
Yep.
Ain't done nothing to Zimmerman.
You didn't do nothing in any of these cops that have shot unarmed people. But you gonna do something to me? So I don't think he believes these people have that much heart.
He actually says that a lot too. Why y'all ain't got?
And he's got a point there.
Yeah.
We do not advocate violence at the New Orleans.
I ain't do nothing to George Zimmerman.
Yeah, that's how he be sounding.
That's
how he be sounding. Yeah.